Welcome to the show. Today, I'm going to dive into some sensitive subjects that you may want to get the little kids out of the room. Just kidding. Not really. Not really, but they're sensitive to me. Here's how it's going to start. I rolled into the gym this morning, and I have been lying to myself. And I didn't want to admit that I'd been lying to myself, and it's really quite frustrating to see how bad I've been lying to myself. And I go into the gym this morning. I go lift my weights. I'm doing my thing. And just last night, my son had come over for his 23rd birthday. So happy birthday to him. But he'd come over and we did dinner and all this stuff. And my daughter makes a joke about me being fat and about how she can't see my six-pack. And my son is like, defends me. And he's like, dude, look at his arms. His arms are like the size of your thighs. Right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking big. I'm buff. Right, so I go to the gym. So I write off of that last night. Then I come into the gym this morning, and I'm doing my workout, and it was good. Did good little push day. Did a little chest, little shoulders. Felt good. Pushed hard. Got my sweat on. It was awesome. It was a great workout. And but then I look over, and there's been this machine that's been broken, and it's the machine that I probably, even if it hadn't been broken, I probably still wouldn't have gone and spent a lot of time with it. And it's a machine that measures your body fat percentage. Right? You stand on it, and you do the little thing, hold the thing in your hands, and kind of stand out there and do the thing. So I'm standing there, and I'm like, I'm going to go try it. I'm going to go get on it. So I go, take my shoes and socks off, get it all set up and calibrated to me and my height and all this kind of thing, and it takes my weight, and my weight was 217, which isn't a problem. Like when I was in my full bulk, I was almost 230. I was 228 pounds, so I'm down. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm a little smaller, because I'm not quote unquote fat or whatever. That was the story. This is the narrative I've been telling myself. And for weeks, actually probably longer, months, I've justified the things I eat because I'm bulking. I've justified working out and not quite pushing as intensely as I wanted to. I don't know why I've justified it, but I have. And it's just I don't know. It's a narrative of moving and just all these things. I just was the loser inside of me, that little voice inside of me that's always speaking. We all have it. Nobody's immune from it. That little voice inside of my head was just, I was listening to it. I was believing it, and I was believing that I still, and I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, yeah, I'm not quite as cut, but I'm bulking, right? This is the narrative I kept telling myself. And here's the problem. I go over to this machine. 217 pounds, not a problem. But then it starts doing its little factoring, right? So I'm standing there quiet and silent, just holding still and letting it do its reading. Now I'm aware that these aren't perfectly accurate. So again, the loser inside of me wants to say that this machine's broken. This machine sucks. It does not do a good job. It does not know what the heck it's talking about. There is no way that that's the real number, except that's the loser in me. The reality in me is I come back, or before I tell you what the number was, I come back home and I look at my wife. I'm all, babe. So they got the body fat machine working, and I got on it. I'm all, guess, what do you think my body fat percentage is? This was also a shot in the heart because she's like, maybe 25%. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Last time I got a body fat percentage tested. My mic's being all weird. Hold on. There we go. Let me see. Get it fixed up here. Keeps just fading. What is going on? It's like falling off. All right, we're like mid-show. We're going to do a tech fix. I am not sure what is happening here, but we're going to fix it real quick. It is falling off of the stand. That doesn't even make sense. Okay. I don't think I tightened it enough. Okay, there we go. It's a little tighter. Is it? No, it's still just like, what is the... I don't know if I'm going to be able... I'll have to hold it. I'm going to have to hold it the rest of the time, and I have to do some investigating and see what I can figure that out. But I get home and ask my wife, what does she think it is? And you know what she says? She says, I don't know, 25%. And I'm like, oh! So it was already a stab in the heart, right? Because I'm like, dude, that's not good. Last time I did a test like this, I was 7.9% body fat. Granted, at 7.9% body fat, you want to know how much I weighed? I weighed 184 pounds. So I'm clearly heavier. I'm 217, 184 pounds. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, all that extra weight is just me getting buff. Like, it's literally just me gaining weight and getting stronger. So then I'm like, well, that must be the situation, right? I've just gotten stronger. I got bigger muscles, whatever. And I get the number back from this stupid machine, and I'm 217 pounds, 26.7% body fat. 26.7. Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially fat. I'm saying it right now. Now, what's crazy is, you know what the machine said? The machine said, hey, you're in the optimal range. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the optimal range if I want to be a fat loser. Like, that's just how my mind works. So some of you guys might be offended by it. This is why I was making the joke. I'm like, maybe get your kids away. I don't want your kids to get this, complex about their body. But I don't consider myself average. I don't consider myself an average human being in any way, shape, or form. And I have been lying to myself about my body that I am in a process of just getting big and it's going to be great and it's going to be awesome. Here's the rub, though. Because I allowed myself to go there, I wouldn't face the facts, and then I allowed myself to get to 26.7% body fat. That is ridiculous. It literally, I want to punch somebody in their face. But guess who's the one that need to punch in the face? It's me. I'm the only one that needs to be punched in the face because I'm the retard idiot who did it, right? So annoying, so frustrating. So guess what? Recommitted, reinvigorated today because I can't be in this space. And what I also identified, guys, and this is what's crazy, is I have no power. Now, what I mean by that is when I wake up in the morning, I have to manufacture it. I don't feel as powerful as I normally do. I don't feel on point. I don't feel as connected as I normally do. And then it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at the way I feel and then say, well, yeah, that no wonder you're having the results you're having in some of these other areas of life because you're showing up halfway, right? And I'm showing up halfway into the game. And so, man, this is one of the hardest things, and this, I think, why everybody screws it up. It's the hardest thing for me because I don't want to face it. I don't actually want to address the problem. I want to ignore the problem. And I've been in personal development for years and years and years, and I still want to just avoid the problem. It's the craziest thing, right? And I look at life in general, and I'm like, Trevor, if you keep avoiding the problem, you're just going to end up failing at everything. You will never achieve what you actually want to achieve. And here's what's crazy. I have plenty of evidence in my life that I can achieve whatever it is I want to achieve. I can literally do anything that I want to do in this life. There is nothing stopping me. I know I have the potential to do everything, anything. But here's the hard part. If I don't do it, and if I'm not honest with myself when I'm off track and I don't hold myself into that container, guess what? I can lie to myself till I'm blue in the face, but the results are going to speak for the results. Most of the world I see, when the world that rolls around, all this, it's crazy because the world wants to do a race to the bottom. We want to complain about all our lives and why we don't have the results we want, and we want to do it in this way that we're trying to compete with somebody else, who has the biggest sob story, which is the stupidest thing ever, because at the end of the day, even if you have the most sob story of all, you still don't have the results. You still have a shitty life. You're still unhappy. What then? Right? You won. You have the most sob story, and that's the result. The result is that you just have the best sob story. Here's the hard truth, too. Nobody cares about your sob story unless one particular thing happens. I don't care how hard you've had it. It doesn't matter until you win. And until you've won, nobody cares, and that's the hardest part. This is why I'm doing this show in the first place, is because I want to come to you guys from a real authentic place of, holy shit, life is not rainbows and butterflies. Life is not amazing all the time. But what do? What's the alternative? Die? That's literally the only alternative. I either keep going, figure this out, or I die. Whether that means I actually die or I just let my dreams die. And what I'm going to tell you right now is at 45 years old, I will not let my dreams die. I'm going to keep going after those dreams. Now, my dreams will change. They'll evolve. They'll become different, this and that. But I'm never going to let them die. I'm never going to quit. And this is like a declaration of promise I've made to my wife many times. I look her in the eyes and I'm like, babe, I will never stop trying. I will never stop trying. I'll never quit on our marriage. I'll never quit on being a father. I'll never quit on the businesses I do and I run and all the kind of things. And the hard part for her, I know it's hard, and this has been the hardest part for me, is looking at her kind of being an innocent bystander to my bullshit, right? When I act a certain way or I don't get the result, she pays the price. And guess what? She's the innocent victim. So if we want to talk about who's the victim here, it's her. She marries this guy. I promise her the world. And when I don't deliver her the world because I'm weak, because I give in to the loser inside my own head, well, guess what? She's the victim. I can't be mad at her. What would I be mad at her for? Mad at her for trusting me? Well, that's the silliest thing I ever heard. I mean, the reality is I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself because this body conversation we're having today, just happens to be about the body, but I can promise you it's happening every other place. I mean, I'm sitting here in this chaos pocket. My cars are literally on the Hawaii Islands. They're stranded due to shipping and dumb choices by me. And I don't have a car here. So we've been borrowing a car. We rented a car for a while. Now we're borrowing a car. And I'm like, holy shit. And now the solution is, well, we probably should just go buy another car. But then there's a part of me that's like, Trevor, going and buying another car right now, does that really make sense? Is that the right move when you're trying to get into a house and you're trying to do all these other things? It's like, well, is that the right move? And it's interesting, right? Because I start to become a little gun shy. Because I'm not in power, because I don't feel this powerful decision-making version of me, which I know exists because I've been him for many years. He's just somehow like gone away. Not somehow. It's because my patterns and my actions have allowed him to go away. I know when I'm being a little bitch, and I have been being one. And so because of that, like I'm in this place of reconciliation of everything, and I'm having to expose myself over and over and over. Not to anyone else, not to you, not to the strangers, it's to me. I'm exposing myself to me. And I realize that if I can't be honest, it doesn't mean I have to like it. It doesn't mean I even have to accept it, meaning this is just, I guess, the way it is. No, I have to be so honest with myself that at least then, with the honesty, I can make the freaking decision. I can choose to be 26.7% body fat and keep going that way. I can make that choice. Or I can choose something different. But if I don't ever admit it, if I don't ever get on the scale to look at it and I just pretend and I keep putting blinders up over my eyes, well, guess what? I'll never do anything about it because I won't even admit there's a real problem. If I don't look at the way I have handled the move from Hawaii to Utah and the way this has all gone down and how it was kind of like the perfect storm of chaos, if I don't acknowledge that I screwed up, that I made mistakes, and I chose some things that were not correct, and they led me down the path that we're in today. If I don't acknowledge that, then I can't do anything about it. I have to be willing to fillet myself open, and that's the only chance I have. That's the only chance I have, because every day I have an opportunity to choose something different, to do something different, to move somewhere different, meaning just my state. Right, my mentality, my mindset, and I can choose to be more productive. I can choose to be less productive. I could choose a different career. I could choose a different direction. All these things. But today was like, holy crap, I can't believe 26.7. And in my mind, I was still the shredded guy at 7.9%. But I'm not. And this is a hard truth. If there's anything for you guys to take away from today's conversation, it's the fact that you got to be honest. You got to stop pretending. And if you keep lying to yourself about the results you have in your life, about whether that's good enough for you or that's what you actually want, if you can't actually be honest with yourself in a quiet room, not declaring this to anyone, just talking to yourself in the mirror, if you can't be honest there, you stand almost no chance. So the actionable item off this is go be honest. Take a look at yourself butt-ass naked in front right when you get out of the shower in the mirror. Look at yourself. Are you happy with what you see? Like, where are you justifying, right? Where are you operating, like, way below your standard? You look in your bank account, you pull the app up, and you look at that, and you're like, man. And then if it's not what you want, and you look at what you're doing throughout the day, are you actually going to build that? Like, you look at the chaos or the overwhelm and the feelings you have. Well, how are you contributing to that? What is it that you're doing? I don't care who's done something to you. That's the most irrelevant statement that anybody could make. Right? As soon as you pull the victim card, go away. Because as soon as you're a victim, you stand no chance of actually overcoming the problem because you're expecting somebody else to come in and save you. Why? Because you're the victim and you need a Superman. I want you to consider you're not a victim and you do not need a Superman, and you are either going to man up and handle your shit, or you are going to maintain the victim mentality, and you will never learn what you need to learn to actually overcome the problems that you have. So appreciate you guys being listeners of today's show. Please appreciate a share and a like or a subscribe. So if you got value from today's show, share it up with somebody else who wants or you want or you feel like would be a good idea for them to go on this daily, weekly journey from the pit to the peak. That's all I got for you. It's your boy Trevor White signing off. Have a fantastic rest of your day.